What is going on YouTube? It is Kyle again with DTOM Knives and Gear, and today we're going to be looking at this thing, the Andrew Demko AD20. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back everybody. I am super stoked about this. First off, this knife was provided to the channel by a good friend, Lefty EDC. If you have watched any of Jake from Bearded Gears videos, you will know that name because he is an awesome dude, an awesome viewer who is willing to send his knives out to other reviewers for review. I have actually had a chance to really get to know him, and we have basically been talking on Instagram for the last few days, a week or so, like pretty nonstop. I've gotten to know him pretty well. He is a super cool dude, and I made him an offer he could not refuse. And so now this is mine. He sent it along, and if you have seen my unboxing of the knives that he sent, and I had this in hand, you'll know that I was really excited. And then when I got it in hand and did that, I was like, oh boy. So yeah, super excited. I did make him an offer he could not refuse, and so he did sell me this knife. And I am so happy. Well, and the reason, I knew this knife existed. I've never had a true Andrew Demko. Of course, this is a true Andrew Demko. This is not a cold steel variant. And, so it's a custom mid-tech, however you want to, I guess, classify that. This is a machine ground version. They do have a hand ground, hollow ground version that is just a lot more expensive than this one. And I didn't care to get one of those, even though it would be awesome. These things are about $425 when they first came out, which it's relatively new. I mean, these kind of just hit the market, and I could not find them anywhere. He allowed me to get this in hand, and it is exactly the variant that I want. You can get this knife in two different steels and a couple of different variations. You can get some different colored G10. They have like a gray, they have a green, they have a black. I'm not sure about the other ones. And then you have an option for the slot. And then you have 20 CV and or 3V steel. And so you guys know me, for like a worker knife, I love 3V. Jake over at Bearded Gear sold me this one a long time ago. This is the Spyderco Tough, and it actually made me fall in love with 3V steel. And so, yeah, for a worker knife, this style of knife, 3V steel, is exactly what I wanted. So this is the perfect variation, exactly what I was looking for. And for Kevin, Lefty EDC, he was just a little bit big for him. However, it is definitely an ambidextrous lock type. So so it did work for him, just a little bit bigger than he's used to carrying. And so, yep, it is mine. I am happy, so happy, because I am a huge Andrew Demko fan. Before we kind of get into really talking about why this knife is so awesome, I'll show you I am an Andrew Demko fan, and of course I like the bigger knives. This is a big knife, but it is nowhere near the, as far as the biggest knife that I have or what Andrew Demko designs look like. So here is one that I've had for a while. Full review is on the channel of the AD15. This is the cold steel variant. And as you can see, they are really similar in size. You have like a diamond pattern G10 that is, very grippy, but not to the extent of the AD15 that comes from cold steel. This is very, very aggressive. A lot of people didn't like this, but yet another genius Andrew Demko design with this scorpion lock. This was such a cool design. I had to get it because I like different opening designs, and Andrew Demko is the man when it comes to that. Of course, Andrew Demko is the man who also came up with the triad lock, which is arguably the strongest lock in the knife game today. Speaking of that, here is another Andrew Demko design, but this is the cold steel variant, the AD10. And so as you can see, the AD10 is actually just a little bit, pretty close to the same size this way. It's a little bit wider. But it's, so the AD20 is not like crazy big or anything compared to these two knives. I absolutely love the Ergonomics in the AD10. The cold steel AD10 designed by Andrew Demko and AD15 are two of my favorite outdoor like worker knives that especially this one. This one is a little bit rough, but it has the fidget factor that I like with the scorpion lock. Oh, that makes me so happy. This one is just 100% comfortable in my hand, Beast S35VN. Now, this one is kind of a mix between the two. This one is an ergonomic dream. I absolutely love the jimping placement on how long it is, so I can get a good grip this way. I can even choke up on it if I need to. And then, of course, the awesome Scorpion lock, which we will talk about in a minute. So I love Andrew Demko. You guys now know that because I have a bunch of his designs. Yes, they are cold steel. However, like I said, definitely not the biggest knife because I also own the 4MAX. So the 4MAX is a beast. But as you can see, the AD20, yeah, it's a lot smaller than the 4MAX. Full review on this guy yet to come. I have had it for a little bit and checking it out, but man, do I love this thing too. So Andrew Demko, yep, I'm a fan. I absolutely love his work. This is also, 100% made in the United States at his facility. Like I said, this is not a cold steel variant. So, oh, do I really like it. Now, of course, the star of the show is the Scorpion lock. The Scorpion lock, in my opinion, is just absolutely genius. I love Andrew Demko's mind when it comes to thinking about this. Now, he actually started thinking about this design and started developing it before he did the Scorpion lock. However, the Scorpion lock was a little bit easier to manufacture well, I wouldn't say easier to manufacture, but this started going before, even though he started designing on this first, this kind of took off first, and now he's got so many awesome variants of the custom AD15 that is just absolutely freaking gorgeous. And then, of course, Cold Steel picked up the design and is making their version of it, which is also very, very awesome, and I love this knife. So yeah, and I do foresee, Cold Steel possibly doing an AD20 variant. But we really don't know. It's one of those things that has happened with most of Andrew Demko's. I mean, he's also Cold Steel's, top designer. So, it's probably going to happen, but the Shark lock is an absolute work of art. It is a strong lock, a very fidgety lock. As you can see, this is how you take this little shark fin, this is why it's called the Shark lock, and you push it back and up, and it unlocks the knife. And then, of course, as you can see, when you do that, it kind of makes it swing shut so it falls. It is running on bearings, which is different from most Andrew Demko designs because most of them run on phosphor bronze washers, but this one runs on bearings, which makes for just an absolute wonderful action that is so fun to fidget with. Obviously that's the reason I wanted the slot, is so I could do the reverse flick. But I gotta tell you, I can also do the reverse flick on the thumb stud. So even if that wasn't there, the reverse flick works really well for me to get my finger behind the thumb stud. And of course, if my other finger wasn't in the way, and get it out there to deploy it. That's really, really fun to do. And then of course, the Shark lock itself, just doing this. Oh, it's so fidgety. Oh, man. The action is absolutely 100% different than any other Cold Steel that I have. I am able to do the reverse flick on the AD10, but of course, it's just a totally different action. The 4MAX, I've had it. It's definitely a lot stiffer. I am not able to, I guess I can if I whip it, but it's a lot stiffer, and this might just be mine, but I bought this on the secondary market, but definitely just a workhorse, not a fidgety knife. This one ticks all the boxes. I am in love with this knife. All the materials. Now, of course, all of this up here is steel, the 3V steel G10 with the with these big barrel spacers here, the liners that go. I mean, these are big, huge, thick slabs of G10, which actually have only the metal where these liners go all the way down, but they're not all the way across the knife. So it is relatively light for its size. It's only about 6.1 ounces. So I think that's awesome. A lot of people, harp on weight, but when you have a knife that's this capable and 6.1 ounces, I think that is amazing. I do not remember what the Cold Steel AD10 and AD15 came in at, but the Cold Steel AD10, I can definitely tell, is a lot heavier. The AD15, still the same way. These might be closer. So weight, I think, is on the money for the size of the knife that you get. I think that is amazing. I love the way he does too. As you can see, this blade is it's a very hard tumble finish. I love a tumble finish, guys, especially on a work knife, you know, on something that you're going to, come on, camera, especially on something that you are going to work with. So that tumble finish helps hide scratches and whatnot. Just a beautiful, beautiful tumble finish that I really, really like. I also like the way that it is sterile on both sides. He does his branding on the pivot collars. So as you can see, at Pennsylvania, that's where these are made. And then the Demko knives, it almost looks like the butt end of a handgun cartridge. So I dig that, obviously. So I really, really like it. This is such a fidgety knife, guys. I've really had a hard time. I've got so many knives that I'm trying to review, so I'm carrying multiple knives on a daily basis, and this one was really hard to keep out of the pocket because I actually didn't get it that long ago, but I've been carrying it so much, and I have a lot of other knives to do. I figured I got to get this out of the way because this knife, probably my top knife of 2020. Now, you know, that's a tall order, and this, of course, is not a production knife, so I get that. But, you know, for the price, for a custom mid-tech, you know, 425 is around the same price you'll get as a lot of other knives. That's what this costs for the machine ground version. Holy crap, let me tell you. I've always said that cold steel knives come with the sharpest edge. And I'm not sure if it's because of cold steel. It's probably because of Andrew Demko, because damn. This thing, of course, has a high saber, well, you know, maybe a 60% saber grind on this. Like I said, the custom hand ground ones are hollow grind, so I don't know what they come out behind the edge. But this one comes in, I thought it was going to be thicker, but it's 25 thousandths behind the edge and shaving sharp. I mean, I definitely can shave hair with his edge and slice like a dream. So it is definitely a cutter. Ergonomically, I mean, come on. You can't get better than this. Like I said, the textured G10 is a little bit aggressive. It's not bad at all. It's definitely not an AD15, which a lot of people complained about. So it's really, really nice. And the regular saber grip or the jimping is done amazing. Like I want all jimping done like that. So it's in a good spot. I can choke up like this. Like I said, it's just amazing ergos and basically any grip that you want to put this thing in. It's 100% amazing. It feels like a fixed blade handle is what it feels like to me. But you know, this might be crazy. But all in all, this is an absolute workhorse of a knife that is fidgety, and you get, you know, work from Andrew Demko. I was amazed. I am so happy that Kevin allowed me to purchase this. I like that he likes the smaller knives. He bought this kind of on you know, these things went fast. Oh, I'm shaking the camera or shaking the table. These things went super fast. And then I missed it and I was trying to find them. Nobody is freaking selling these because they love them. But because he is a smaller knife guy, he wanted 20 CV, but the only thing they had was 3V. I wanted 3V. He's such an awesome dude. He allowed me to purchase this, and I love him forever. So you will definitely see this more on the channel. I'm a huge fan. The only thing, he's a lefty. He put the right-handed pocket clip on this because they do make a left-handed pocket clip, but it's a different one because of the shape. It is kind of a pocket shredder, even though it's not as rough as the AD15. It still is rough, and it's underneath that pocket clip. As you can see where the lip is, it kind of loops down. I really didn't have too much trouble getting it out of pocket, but it does loop down. I kind of wish it looped up. But the pocket works amazing. It's just that little bit of a lip that curves down. I kind of know why they did that, but it does not cause a hot spot. Like, matter of fact, I don't even feel that pocket clip when I drag this thing down. Since I have it in a saber grip here, I know a lot of people are like, does that not touch your finger? Is that not a bad spot for the lock? Are you going to come off? I have cut things and really bared down on this to kind of, doing some cardboard and stuff. Now that it's my knife, I was able to do that. So in my saber grip right here, first of all, it doesn't touch. It's like he designed it for a purpose. He designed this knife perfectly. He knew and he tested this thing in a saber grip. You're not going to find out if you come back like this, you would have to come back in a drastic fairy tale land of a way to be able to get this thing far back and then unlock the knife. It's just not going to happen. I can't say it's impossible because things happen, but in this grip, absolutely nowhere. You're never going to do it. In this grip, you would have to seriously have something go terribly wrong and weird to be able to get that lock to disengage. And then, of course, it does have jimping on the back here, which I love because I can actually pull this grip off with, and actually do some stabbing tasks and have gripping, some jimping here to keep it from going forward. So just a well-designed knife that I am super, super excited to have in my collection now because, I've never had a real Andrew Demko. I've been a fan of his for such a long time, and now I've got one and I love it. It's actually the one that I would purchase out of the AD10 and the AD15. This is definitely the one that I want from him, even though the AD10 and the AD15, especially the AD15, some of his custom models, man, with the materials that he uses, holy moly. But, those are $1,200, $1,500, sometimes more depending on what you want. This one is definitely the Andrew Demko worker design that I've fallen in love with, and I'm so very grateful for Lifty EDC for allowing me to do it. The bearings that are on this thing, a lot of people like, work knife bearings. I hear you, I do. This thing would not have near the awesome action that it does without those bearings. But the way it's put together, this thing is going to be hard pressed to really get stuff down in the bearing cages to cause an issue. I don't foresee that being a problem. It could be, but I just don't see it happening. But I understand what you're talking about if you are worried about that. But the action on this thing makes this knife, a big, beefy, overbuilt knife that has this kind of action. It's just so much fun. I love it. So, anyways, guys. What do you think about the AD20? Have you had a chance to handle it? Do you like it? What is it that you like compared to the AD10 and the AD15, all the other Andrew Demko designs out there? He's just one of my favorite designers, though. So, guys, I appreciate you stopping by. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Definitely stay tuned. We got a lot more coming. Boy, I've got some more knives from him that we are going to be doing some reviews on soon, so stay tuned for that. I love you all. Stay safe out there in this crazy world that we're living in, and we will see you in the next one.